Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Seller Sessions live on Facebook. Today, I have with me Chris and Nicole Parr. How you doing?
Hey, we're good.
Excellent. So, both you, you're seven-figure sellers, sell on Amazon, moving towards eight figures. What category are you in? You don't have to give up the products, but what?
So we're in sports and outdoors.
Okay. So sports and outdoors. And I must kick off this session with, you've done some business with Elon Musk, one of my heroes. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it was one of these ones of so kind of planets aligned. You know, my kind of daughter actually, by sheer coincidence, bought me the biography of Elon Musk. And let's be honest, he is the greatest entrepreneur on the planet.
Of our times, yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, you look at Steve Jobs, you look at Jack Dorsey, you look at all these different people, but like this guy changes humanity, you know. So
yeah, with SpaceX and stuff. So yeah, it was about a year ago. I got an email like on a Monday night at like 11 o'clock, and it was from a company called the Boring Company. And I was like,
yeah,
the Boring Company.
This is a prank.
Anyway, so it was basically, we'd like to buy one of your products. We'd like to buy 20,000 units of one of your products. And basically on this email was basically a link to Elon Musk's Instagram page.
Yeah.
Which basically then was him running around with a flamethrower, which was absolutely nuts. Even then you thought, yeah. So I got my mobile out and it was actually, no, this seems to be for real. And then basically did a bit more inquiry and then looked at the Boring Company. Actually, the Boring Company is a tunnel boring company.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of read about that actually SpaceX is actually next door to LAX Airport in Los Angeles. And basically, you've ever been to Los Angeles, which I'm sure you have, traffic. So basically, classic Elon Musk just said, why am I mucking about? We should be building tunnels. So anyway, cutting back to the flamethrower, basically we sold them a component, a product which is using a component to go on top of this flamethrower. Which we sold in 20,000 units. So we were dealing with literally procurement team from SpaceX.
Yeah.
Legal team.
It was literally coming out of the Chinese New Year. But yeah, we sold in 20,000 units. We managed to turn it around in literally 5 weeks and made quite a nice sum.
Yeah.
Nice. So being a bit of a fanboy, did you negotiate hard or do you just give up the goose because it's Elon Musk? It's like, well, you just tell me what you want.
No, we didn't actually. No. We didn't. I suppose because at the same time they'd gone out.
Yes.
This is like a publicity. Something they're selling for about $500, $600, and they sold 20,000 in 48 hours.
Yeah.
So I knew we were in a position of power, and our product's quite unique.
Yeah.
So no, I did kind of play hardball and did kind of say, actually, if you don't kind of give us the price we want and what have you, then we'll walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do the traditional technique? You create a little bit of scarcity. You put down the phone. You know, you come back to me, and when you come,
and you can't beat one of the best negotiation tactics, which is just silence.
Oh, you done the silent treatment.
So you go for the, do all the Russian front and kind of I all the different negotiation for you. Just silence.
Well, it was quite scary, I think, at the time because Chris was saying, are we going to go for this or not? And if we don't, we could potentially lose quite a lot of money. And we went, if it's happening, it's going to happen. And we were lucky it did.
Yeah, it worked out. We got out clean. We didn't do any publicity then because it was quite an unusual product. And obviously we made sure we had public liability.
Of course, yeah. Especially if something like, it's a novelty act, but it's a flamethrower and you don't want any kickback off that kind of thing.
There was a lot of press on it, especially more in America than here.
Yeah.
And I think then it was literally the week later, then, what was it, Falcon Heavy went up?
Yeah.
SpaceX. So I'm sure it was all of these ones of kind of PR and what have you. But yeah, he's a phenomenal individual and amazing to touch some of that and to make a respectable profit. And it's a fun story.
And there's a one-off.
Thankfully, the dust has settled.
Yeah.
So let's get down to brass tacks on the actual business. So that was a novelty side act, if you like, and you earned some great money from that. But obviously, long term, you built your own brand. So you said you're in sports and outdoors. Take me back to the beginning. Where did it all start?
So just to say, so my background is actually retail and e-commerce. So I've worked on the supplier side and also on the retailer side. So I took redundancy from my last job. And then so got a bit of a payoff. Your background is?
In airline, sales and marketing, so 25 years, relationship management. So it's great change, actually.
And basically, we started about 4 years ago, in mid-June 2015, when it was a bit easier, when you could, kind of do, different launches and
the golden years, basically.
Yeah.
Just before the gold rush. The golden years went into the gold rush, and then we got Sensible Businesses is now on Amazon.
But we launched with one product. So our product's a premium product range, is very premium for its market. So which literally 50 to 100% more expensive than anybody else in our category. Yeah. We kind of go for more the big global brands type of stuff.
Yeah.
We've got lots of Chinese sellers in our categories. We've now got about 27 products. It's about 15 more this year. Yeah. Great year-on-year growth. About 6% of the sales now is in the States. Germany, obviously the rest of Europe, Canada, Australia, sending stock into UAE. But we're very, very, very customer-centric, customer brand-centric. I suppose because my background and kind of both of our backgrounds is kind of marketing and sales, so very much.
And I'm imagining the packaging is high-end because you come from retail. You're really focused in on there.
We do all the basics of, kind of building customer avatars, customer personas, and we know our customer and we don't distract from that.
Do you build any, because the level you're moving towards 8 figures from 7 to 8, are you starting to build in now that, like they used to do, or they probably still do with Apple products, is that experience? Is like you're testing different packaging, like opening that box, get that kind of reaction. Do you go that deep in terms of analysis?
We're going through a repackaging exercise at the moment. So actually we're moving to we're moving to more cardboard. We've got literally, like matte finish, spot UV with kind of gloss finish on certain elements of it. It's actually cheaper.
And it's for recycling as well.
And even then we are kind of, Nicole's very good at, so Nicole's German. She's the good at detail. I'm the more strategy type person.
I'm the speaker of that.
So actually we kind of whittle down and actually some of it, but actually we should be reducing the height of the packaging, and actually because then we can reduce our FBA fees by literally some of them by like $1.50 times that by whatever 40,000 units a year or what have you.
Yeah, it makes a change. It makes a big change to the business.
So we very much get customer orientated. All of those touch points in terms of the way we design the products, the packaging, the listings, the tone of voice, the colours we use, the pricing, the marketing, the images,
and dealing with German reviews.
Yes.
Nicole, talk about that as a German. You can.
I can, absolutely. I think everything is great. You don't hear anything. There's no reviews until something goes wrong, and then they really go hammer and tongs. And it takes quite something to turn it around. So we're lucky that sometimes the customers contact us, and I can strike up a rapport. So it's not a canned answer. It's working with the customer, trying to explain why it could have gone wrong and could they give us another chance. And so we really work hard at the German reviews, but not an easy.
And our products, some of them are quite technical.
Yeah. No, I had an issue with one of my first products going into Germany. Big mistake. Because of the nature, it's quite an industrial product. Got absolutely hammered. But what I admire about the Germans is he created pen pals back then. We're going back 3 or 4 years. And when you explained that they were using it in the wrong manner, they would respond, and then you'd have this like lifelong partner now, communicating by email. The funny thing, I was using Google Translate, explaining at the top of the message, I am translating Google Translate, but we're trying to put this right. And then they laugh, and then they come back and speak in English. And then if they feel it's justifiable, they will adjust the review. And that happened in a few cases, but it did teach me about products that you launch in Germany. You've got to be absolutely spot on with quality. There is no middle ground with it.
Oh no, definitely. That's where we do pretty well there, just because of the quality of our stuff. It's probably German, kind of Japanese type quality.
Yeah. So talk to me price points. Where do you focus at? You said high end, so I'm taking it's high end prices. You said you've got a lot of Chinese in the category, so you're differentiating by quality, packaging, price, etc., and brand.
I mean, our cheapest product is an ancillary add-on product. It's about $7, but it goes up to $65.
Yeah.
We do sometimes charge more in Germany, just because the market can take it. We get a lot of sales from Austria and Switzerland as well.
Right.
A lot. So yeah, our pricing is just is more on the higher side. So we might sell something for $30. The rest of the market's literally selling it at 15, 20.
But you also compare that we use different materials,
different type
what
of
the Chinese sellers are
quality
using.
machinery.
Yeah.
And so it's quite technical. But in the future, we're probably going down the more expensive. We'd probably go down to the more complex categories. So to a certain degree, the strategy is if that's complex and that's more expensive, because it's a race, isn't it? We tend to kind of go down that sort of angle.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of competition just because we've got a brand.
No, that makes sense.
And our brand is searched. And I had a meeting yesterday with Amazon Advertising. We've got some kind of, we're up against some big global brands. And then you kind of got some big sellers in our category, but our brand is kind of in the middle.
Yeah. We do spend a lot of money on advertising, though.
Yeah, so we do spend.
Yeah.
I was going to get onto the advertising side. So talk me through a traditional launch for you guys.
Best deals, don't we?
Yeah, so I mean, in the States, we'll obviously switch on
PPC,
early reviewer program. Because we're part of Marketplace Growth Program in the States. We joined that last February.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you able to pay $1,000 and get some reviews through Amazon Vine program? Are you going through that?
And although we have,
it's a big contention.
Yeah, we are kind of in discussions with them because some of our Chinese selling friends seem to have access to it via their vendor accounts.
Yeah.
So we've asked and lobbied for it, but
chipping away.
So we turn on Early Reviewer Club. We've kind of learnt our lesson. We kind of now just then turn on best deals. So best deals are after 2 weeks. Even if something doesn't have a review, the fact is you'll be on page one. So bear in mind 30% of Amazon's traffic goes to the deals pages, whether it's lightning deals, best deals, deal of the day.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, if you can get onto page one on your category for sports and outdoors, for best deals, you'll chunk it through. So the last time we did it, we sold with no reviews, 45 a day, 50 a day.
Yeah.
And whatever, you're doing that for 2 weeks. So the algorithm
picks up,
says, I like this. I turn on PPC day one.
With no reviews, yeah.
Always aggressive. Do product targeting ads on all the main competition. We'll then do, because we've got a fairly sizable social media following, so we've got 78,000 on Instagram.
Wow.
1,000 on Facebook.
That's incredible. And how did you build that up? Because that's no easy feat unless you're trying to target, bot traffic, which I know you guys wouldn't be interested in. But 78,000 is quite a feat when you've got a brand on Amazon and you've built that organically.
Yeah, we've done it from day one. I did it from day one. It's the basics of social media. It's just regular, timely content. It's like you in terms of your blogs. It's it's putting out regular, timely content, engaging, good quality, engaging content. So asking questions. We do lots of competitions.
Yeah.
Caption contests. So obviously all the right hashtags. We've done some work on the right type of hashtags. And just bang it out. Yeah. And then we have ambassadors, we sponsor teams.
Wow.
Influencers. So, and a fair amount come to us.
And on launching, we also use our email list, don't we?
Yeah,
and we
email
have
list.
A newsletter. There will always be an offer in there. There will always be blogs and content in there.
So we've got about 10,000 email. Obviously, the open rate's low. We do some ManyChat stuff, but we did a fair amount last year with Michelle Barnum-Smith. We're friends, obviously, with Michelle Benton.
Yes. Again, another lady on the way to doing 8 figures this year.
She's the bot queen.
Yeah.
And Paul Harvey as well.
Yeah, and Paul, Mr. Harvey.
Yeah, well, you're going to see Paul, aren't you, in a couple of weeks down over at Seller Sessions. But before we move there, I'd be interested to know where you're taking this. So you're heading towards 8 figures. There's always that thing about selling off of Amazon, diversification, two sides of the argument, get off Amazon. I mean, I listened to an interesting podcast the other day for someone who took their business, like yourselves, heading towards 8 figures, took themselves off of Amazon and done Shopify. But what their argument is like, everyone's concerned of being suspended because of being on Amazon, right? So they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. But one of the problems that they had, the member from the podcast, that they they built so much around Facebook for their Shopify store. When they changed the algorithm, that went down overnight, and they become more reliant back on their Amazon sales. So you can't always say about going off Amazon, but I digress. Talk to me about your off Amazon activities in terms of sales. Where are you with that?
Website?
Yeah, we have a website. We've got a WordPress WooCommerce website.
Yeah.
It's been tricky.
Yeah, which we've just kind of relaunched. That's been a bit of fun. So we've got a good web designer for that one. We do all the shoppable links in Instagram. Stuff, but that's quite small. We don't spend that much. I'll be honest, we drive most of the traffic to Amazon.
Yeah,
we get reasonable sales from it.
Mm-hmm. So would you say less than 10% your sales come off platform?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, in terms of return for your investment, and we're quite focused on where we make our money. Amazon's one way, that's that way.
Mm-hmm.
And also on a lifestyle bit, we don't want to overcomplicate our.
Well, you're from retail, so you know how difficult retail is, because people in their minds, they sell on Amazon and go, oh, I'm going to go to retail, but they don't realize what's involved.
It's difficult. I set up a business, e-commerce business with 15,000 SKUs. It's difficult to make money when we're all expecting free delivery and free returns and great prices. So, the juggernaut that is Amazon, they do a lot darn well.
Yeah.
So, no, it's just, we've got business insurance because of kind of marketplace growth program to a certain degree.
Yeah. We also play by the rules.
But we play by the rules. We don't black hat. We don't do any. We're in it for the long term.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, even down to suspensions. Like, people worry about suspensions. As I've got further and further, and have relationships inside of Amazon, external of Amazon, ex-Amazonians, and you don't do black hat stuff. When it comes to suspensions, you can get back on the platform. Where people don't get back on the platform is continuous abuse. If you were to do review manipulation and you got suspended 2-3 times in a row, that's probably your lot, yeah? But if you don't engage in review manipulation and get suspended, generally 9 times out of 10, if you write a good plan of action and everything, you'll be back on. And I've even noticed that late 7s and 8-figure sellers, Amazon gives them a warning and tells them they're going to suspend them for 14 days. That's like saying, get your business in order. We'll just give you the heads up. Get ready for your suspension, but then we'll let you back on in 14 days. I'm not saying it's a right thing or a wrong thing, but I've seen a pattern of that. And I think that concern over being suspended and losing your business on Amazon is greatly reduced as long as you're playing by the rules.
Yeah, and we went to Seattle. We went to head office last summer.
Yeah.
We had a whole variety of different meetings with people from FBI and what have you. And it's delightful, 60 buildings. You're sitting in a meeting, and of course, we sit at home with our computers, don't we? Slightly just, detached from it all. And you're kind of sitting there, and they're kind of opening up your account. It's like, well, I see this, and your account health is like this, and your score is this, and your account is like, oh my God. So, that's ultimately the reality is they know all about you. They know what you're doing. Unless you're, savvy and you've got multiple accounts. But no, it's not for us.
No, that makes sense. So moving on to Seller Sessions Live, one or not both of you, one of you have bought a ticket, haven't you? Nicole, you were coming, but now you've exchanged places with Chris. Chris is now coming. He's going to be coming back from an event in Israel, so be attending. So what do you guys want to get out of Seller Sessions Live?
Well, I mean, hats off to you. So we thoroughly respect you. We've had lots of chats before, and you're a lovely guy, and I do trust you, to be honest.
Thank you.
It's local. Rather than having to fly to some mastermind for thousands of dollars to Cabo or something in Mexico or something. So I'd say it's local. You've got some stellar. You've got some stellar. Lee around. I've got a lot of respect for. Yeah. Straight talking guy, I have to say. Quite similar to you, really, I have to say. Mr. Harvey, we've known Paul for a reasonable amount of time, and he's great, knows his stuff. Yeah.
Have you met Athena before? She's going to come over and co-host.
No, we went to the
Christmas
to her
meetup.
Christmas.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because we've never done China. Most of our suppliers are in non-China.
Yeah.
Non-China. We'll leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you got away with the tariffs then?
We've got one supplier there, but it hasn't been hit by the tariffs.
Oh, that's good. Cool. So no 25% markup for you.
No. No, yes, I have to say Casey I admire. Casey, young lad, how he's built this phenomenal business. And again, to be honest, I look at it a bit like you and Lee Rand and what have you. I think, you're all just honest, hard-working guys that do what you're doing, and you're playing the long game.
Yeah. That's it. It's the long game, the important game, as I call it. So.
Yeah, and obviously in the age of bit networking, beers.
Oh yeah, we'll have a good piss up after. As I said, we'll be going out in the evening and
definitely.
Yeah. So Nicole, you're coming for the evening, though, aren't you?
I'm coming to the party.
Okay. So we'll go to. There's a secret warehouse party that we're going to go to. So but the insurance and legal said I can't invite everyone at the conference to go to that. They have to make it their own way there. But they nearly had a heart attack. But we'll go out and have some fun, and people can make their own way there if they'd like. But let's sign off. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
No, it's been cool.
No, I think actionable content. So when Chris comes back, we can implement it on the Monday.
Excellent. Well, he'd probably be pretty roasted come the Monday if he's out all Saturday night. So
true, maybe Tuesday then.
Tuesday. That sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.